everybody, my name is Jasmine Dudley. I'll be bringing forth these godly conversations. I just want to give God the honor and tell him thank you. Just daily devotion. Just magnify God for just giving me the opportunity to just bring forth his message and more to come. But I pray that you get something from this as well as I do. Welcome my beautiful queens and my handsome kings. I pray grace, peace, and prosperity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through on my notes, and then I'm just going to talk a little bit about everything that's been given. So we're not going to prolong the time. I'm going to talk about change. Malachi 3:6 reminds us that I am the Lord, I change not. Change means to make or become different. And there's other words that you can use, which means you can use adapt, reshape, or reconstruct. Everybody can change, but many have a hard time positioning it to change. You say that you're willing to change, but are you ready to accept the guidance that is needed to make this change? Think of a time where you've struggled and it was a hardship, but God yet reminds you that he's not finished with you yet. Why? Because you still have the opportunity to change. And with change comes truth. You have to be able to be honest with yourself when you are saying, I'm ready to change. And this change is also a process, of course. And with the process also comes one of the fruits of the Spirit, patience. We tend to change a lot about ourselves, like our attire, our hair, jewelry. Of course, accessory, a lot of things. You have to have a willingness to change, and there comes growth. And it's to the point it should be, if I don't change, how am I affecting others that's depending on my change? You have to take full responsibility of the things that you choose to do in your own life. Some of us is in desperate need of a change. And it's a time to deal with hardships. And if not now, then never. It's a time to commune with God. Come before God. Petition before God. And brings me to my next point, coming with fast with your change. And for the ones that don't know what fasting is a depriving your flesh so that your spirit man may increase. So trust God with your change. And the reasons why some of us tend to have a problem with change is because it's what we listen to, who we're surrounding ourselves with, what you're allowing to entertain your spirit, and also the way that we think. And so I'm just going to go back and I'm going to begin just to talk about it. When you're thinking about reconstruction, you're thinking about something old being torn down to build something fresh, something new with a new beginning, something that's beautiful inside and out. You're reshaping something from its old form to remove some old things. I'm removing some things. I don't like this, and I'm taking away some things because I want it to be outstanding to the point where I didn't think that it could look this beautiful. All the extra stuff, when I began to remove it and I seen it for its original form, it's like it's so much more beautiful. Like adapting from one season to another, your body goes through changes constantly. When I was sneezing and sniffing and coughing, now that my body is adapting to its new season, I have much more energy. I'm not as tired anymore. I can go here and do this, and I can go and play with my grandkids. I can play with my cousins and my parents and all of this. Why? Because your body went through a transition and it's changed. It was a time in my life where it brings to the next point when I was talking about the guidance. There's going to be a time where God is going to give people instructions to give to you and what you need to do. But it's pointless if you're going to hear the guidance and the instructions, but you still going to do your own thing. Because if you haven't learned that your own way is not the best way, because there was a time where I just believed, just being real, I just believed that my flesh was I was comfortable. I really didn't want to hear what you had to say, because because it's like I know what I'm doing is right. But at 10, that it left me in a whole world of trouble. It left me in ungodly soul ties. It left me in pain, and it left me in hurt. But one thing about God, that God has never left my side. Even when I was real and said, God, I know I'm not quite ready for my change, God sat there with me, knocking at the door of my heart, let me know that I'm right here, tugging at your heart. I know that God called me for great purpose, and He called you for a greater purpose, a destination set for your life. But it's one of the things where, are you open with God? Are you going to have a willing heart? Open yourself to God and say, God, I'm stripped of everything. This is me. This ain't Sassy Jazz. This ain't Kitty. This is Jasmine coming to you. Vice versa. Whoever that you may be, you're coming to God whole as you are. No cuts, no curves, just you. God will deal with you in the place that you are in your life. Whether we like it or not, we're not going to like a lot of things that God does. But it's to help us. It's to shape our future. It's to shape us into the person that God is trying to prepare for later on. When it comes time, when I said you got to trust God with the patience and trust God with patience, it's going to be a time where it's going to be like, oh my God, I feel like I'm getting nowhere. God, yes, still has His hand on your back, pushing you. Keep going. The devil's not going to send you nothing that you don't like. Oh, it's going to be a lot of distractions. I'm going to tell you that now. God is right there, pushing you. Say, no, I'm not going to take you. I'm going to reroute you and put you over here, because I see that there's this big ditch. I see that there's this ocean and this cliff that I don't want you just to keep walking, because if I allow you to keep walking, you're going to fall. Okay, but I see that in this road that I'm rerouting you, that there is going to be a couple of bumps, and you might stumble over it. But are you going to get up and dust your shoes off and say, okay, yeah, I might have failed. I might have got my hands dirty and my shoes a little dirty and got a little scratches here and there. But are you willing to keep on going and say, okay, but yeah, even though it's a little scratch, I'm not burnt, I'm not bruised, I'm not bleeding, I'm gonna keep walking. Because God got you, regardless. When family left you, when your friends turned on you, when it seems like all odds is against you, God said, I'm right here. I'm pushing you into your purpose. And just like you, when you're going through that change, and it takes patience to go through that, God, I trust you enough to know that I'm willing to leave behind my ways in order to do what you have called me to do in my life. And a lot of us is not going to like the change, but eventually you're going to have to learn to adapt into it. Be okay with the change in your life. Be okay with the people that God is taking out of your life, that God is removing from you. What I once could do, I can't do that no more. Be okay with that. I've learned to be okay with that. I didn't like it. Of course, did I have my attitude about it? Yes. Did I have my talks? Yes. But it was to help me. And I'm starting to realize, as I'm getting older, maturity starts to come with your growth, with your change. That what I once did, okay, God, now I see why you didn't allow me to be around this person. Why you didn't allow me to hang here and go there. Your body you go through changes, just like your body. I have black hair, brown hair. I'm going to eventually get gray hair. You're going to eventually get white. Some people get white hair. I guess white. Great. We're going to go through all of that. Because how you once was 12 years ago, you're not that. Now that I'm 30, I shouldn't be acting like I'm 11 years old. I shouldn't be still dressing like a teenager now that I'm 50 years old. Maturity comes along with that. Your hormones begin to change. Okay, yeah, I used to be all, you know what I'm saying, cool and collected, but now there's my hormones. As I'm getting older, it's like I'm a little, okay, now calm it on down. Just knock it down a couple of notches, like, God will be with you through all of it, through it all. And take full responsibility in your life. You have full control over your actions. God will be with you, man, regardless. A lot of us is in desperate need of change. A lot of us is crying out for help. You might not physically say, I need help. But on the inside, you know what you need. God is not the man who's going to force anything on you. But he's going to let you know that I'm yet still knocking at the door of your heart. But are you willing to say, God, this is what's going on with me. God, I need you. I need to make this change, because it's one of the things where if I don't make this change, who else am I affecting? You got to think about these things. We got to put our selfish ways and how we're feeling behind us. Let it go. And think about the people that's in need of us. If I don't change, what is going to happen to my brother and my sisters that's in need of my change? Could my change be the reason why they get delivered? Could my change be the reason why they don't want to do the things that they used to do? Could it be the reason why they finally say, I'm ready to give my life over to God and say, God, I'm done? When you begin to fast and commune with God, God began to answer the questions that you was in need of, the questions that, God, I really need answered. God began to talk to you and tell you things. You have to trust God. Trust him while you're in your change. Because Philippians 4:8, the last thing, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think of these things. Those things which ye have both learned and received and heard and seen in me do, and the God of peace shall be with you. So trust God in your change. Thank you all once again for